I want to give shout out to my Punjabi friends out there.
If you're a Punjabi guy listening to this podcast while driving a truck, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for delivering our food on time and all the other stuff from Walmart.
You can't even really like stereotype people in India because they get so angry.
Oh, yeah.
Because then every Punjabi doctor is going to be like, I'm a surgeon,
Like,
you piece of shit.
But your cousin drives a truck, and you know what he wants? A turban from Gucci. This is Gucci turban. Here we are talking
Can't
about
stereotype any group of Desi people because they'll just come at you mad hard with like, oh, well, my cousin is a physicist.
Yeah, and his cousin probably drives
yeah.
a truck. Everyone knows somebody that drives a truck. I think. I knew somebody who used to drive a truck, Punjabi guy. Drove a truck in New York. Imagine, you got to be really skilled with your hands to drive an 18-wheeler through New York City. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Punjabi dudes and gals out there driving trucks with no respect. But I've driven, we were driving in the Midwest and we saw what's that called? The Punjabi sign? The looks like a trident almost.
Yeah, it looks like the Star Wars Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, what's that called?
Silent, don't put that in.
No, keep that in there. It's true. What's the sign?
I'm not trying to hate on them.
What's that called? The Kanda. Yeah.
Yeah, the Kanda.
Yeah, I've seen. I've been driving across the country. You see the Kandas on the big rigs. But yo, word. Shout out to them. Definitely on the West Coast too. The Punjabis own a lot of those routes. So shout out to them.
My friend, I have a Punjabi friend. And he grew up in Oakland, and he would always, or Stockton, California, rather, right? And he would always tell me these wild stories about how G'd up Punjabi people were. And I'd never believe it. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, they used to have raves back in the day. Yeah. And then he told me this story about raves. Raves in like, it's a thing in Central California. And then he told me once about this story where he got into a fight in a parking lot with a guy, put this Punjabi on Punjabi fight. And this guy pulled out a samurai sword from his trunk and he sliced off the other guy's arm.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't buy that shit at all, right? And then like 7 years later, I swear, like 7 years later, he sends me a news article that the guy really did slice the other guy's arm off with a fucking samurai sword. So you don't do not.
Guy didn't block it with his little.
You can't
silver thing.
So I'm like, I don't fuck around.
What's it called?
Karna.
Yeah. Block it with
I don't like. I'm like, ever since then, I'm saying real respectful, guys. You never know who's gonna.
Oh yeah.
Samurai sword.
Yeah, who's gonna pull out a fucking samurai sword or just cut your fucking arm off in a disagreement in a parking lot.
I mean, but that has nothing to do with them being Sikh or Punjabi. It has everything to do with them being crazy. That's just a crazy person who happened to be a religion or an ethnic group.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Again, if you're a Punjabi guy listening to this, driving a truck.
I'm not stereotyping you.
And you need a Gucci turban. We are Gucci turban. One last thing I'll say about Central California and Punjabi guys. I did a show in Fresno. I think this might be on tape. Maybe were you in Fresno?
I don't think so.
Maybe you weren't. Fresno, California is probably home to the drunkest audience I've ever done. Mad Punjabi guys came out. Mad Indian people came out. Every ethnicity was represented, but I think like 5-10 minutes into the show, some guy was blacked out, passed out on the side of the show. Punjabi guy had to walk out, be escorted out. Shout out to you guys. I know there ain't shit else to do in the middle of
in Central California. There's got to be stuff to do.
Drink.
I mean, you got the hiking, and
got to do a drunk.
Outdoor stuff. Like, what are the white people doing in Central California?
Farming almonds. Raisins.
Bad Asians out there in Fresno.
Pistachios. Yeah.
East Asians. Yeah. What are they up to?
I don't know.
See? There's a lot of stuff.
I'm sorry, Fresno. I didn't research your town entirely, but I do know that that's what I learned about Punjabis driving trucks, because they have those dabas, the side of the road.
Yeah.
We were driving. You were there. Because we were driving like, yo, we're going to go get some Indian food.
I think so.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure you were there. But they had like truck stops. And I think there's a Times article about this, like famous truck stops for Punjabi guys, for Punjabi truck drivers who want to taste at home. Anyway, speaking of Indian people, this happened this past weekend, okay? My cousin called me, and I couldn't pick up. I ignored the call, and he texted me immediately like, yo, why is your voicemail what it is? And I have never changed my outgoing voicemail message. I haven't touched it. It's been the same standard, you've reached, or thank the person you're calling is unavailable right now. Leave a message after the beep, whatever the hell the standard tone is. And then I was like, what are you talking about? And there's no other way to explain this. You got to hear this, okay? This is, again, I did not do this. I have Verizon and iPhone. This is all facts. Put this on speaker.
Put that on the mic. Put it on the mic. Yeah.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you are trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Why? Why did you do this? What? iPhone, Verizon, Apple, I don't know who's responsible for this. I don't know why my outgoing voicemail message is a robot Indian man, dude.
They got you.
They got me, dude. I don't know who did this. Okay.
When did you find out?
I found out this weekend. My cousin called. Bro, I have so many other voice messages. And now I know why there's always a little chuckle before they leave a message. I don't know why anyone would do. I think, dude, so, Verizon was hacked.
Yeah.
Verizon, AT&T, Lumen, and some other broadband providers were hacked. And very recently, by China. This is what the Chinese did. This is 100% China's fault. They definitely hacked and decided, oh, this guy's an Indian guy. We're going to make his outgoing message. Please leave a message. Check your phones. If you're an Indian person or just anybody, have someone call you and ignore the call and see what your outgoing message is. I would be so shocked that I'm the only one.
What would the Chinese want out of your phone? What could they possibly have on you? Also, why is China so interested in like spying on people, like regular Americans? Like TikTok, they're spying on people through that.
I think China, the Chinese government, is very well aware how easily manipulated Americans are.
Yeah, we knew that.
And
through Russia.
This is the direct way to do that. This is the thing we're on the most. And it's making everyone that calls me lose a little respect for me. That's what's happening.
I think you got to lean into it. I think you got to pay on Fiverr or something. Just find an Indian guy and just go full in. Just go all in. Uh-huh. Just get some guy to be like, "Hi, you've reached Nimesh."
Uh-huh. I'm probably on stage.
Yeah. And then have him do it in English, and then go now in Gujarati, and then have him do it in full Gujarati, and then leave a message.
Jesus Christ, man. Shout out to China for hacking everything. Do you know about this hack?
I've heard about this salt sparrow hack.
The government, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal. The government said that they cannot overstate the severity of this hack. They broke into Verizon. They broke into AT&T. And they're spying on everyone's dirty text messages.
Yeah, but what do you get out of that, China? Like, you can't really blackmail anybody anymore.
Yes, you can.
Can you?
We'll find out.
The average American? Like the average American?
China, please hack Asif's phone.
China, first of all, you ain't going to find shit, okay? All right, I am clean as a whistle. The only thing is I might use some terms that I redact quite often, and I might call people redacted a lot. So I'm just going to own up to that.
And it's all caps, too.
Yeah,
redacted.
it's all caps. And that's what you're going to find. Like, my porn habits, normal. No, just normal.
Hold on, wait. We didn't do this. Now say your porn habits normal.
Porn habits, normal. I don't even sports bet anymore.
Uh-huh.
And
You don't?
I don't.
Why?
It's tiring, man.
What'd you get got on?
I didn't get got. I just went out on top like Elway.
Oh, okay.
I was done. I was done on a lifetime net gain of $1,200. I was like, you know what, guys? That's it. DraftKings, peace out. We did it. We lived the American dream. And it's just a lot to keep up on.
No Amit Patel life for you? The
No.
Jaguars?
No Amit Patel life. Because you got to do a lot of math.
Yeah. No, these people, these people aren't doing math. A lot of the gambling addicts are not doing math.
I mean, I'm sure they are, like, just like subconsciously, you know?
No, I think most of them are like, I like that. If I bet $100, I get $400.
Yeah.
That's I think
And
most
parlaying like 50 different things.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, going back to China, I don't know really what they want. I'm sure they're in this large net of Americans. They're trying to find the important ones, like senators and shit.
Well, they said that part of, and this is only stuff that you know publicly because it's what the government has allowed to be out. They said that they think that China was trying to access all those communications that FBI and other government agencies would be having regarding the people that they are spying on. So like China has spies in America.
Right.
FBI spying on them. China wants to know what they know about them.
Yeah, that's fine.
And in the course of that, they change Indian voice messages.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that all sounds pretty okay. I don't really see the big deal. They just want to know what we have on them, and that's it.
But then in the span of searching for that, they may find like Jensen Huang's next 12 moves.
They already know that.
Yeah. Shout out to Taiwan.
They already know that. They know everything. They're just
Taiwan.
like, I don't know. I don't really see this as that big of a.
You're such a nihilist. You're like, fuck it, we all did.
No, but it's like, first of all, like all our politicians are fucking shameless. Like, what are you gonna find on Matt Gaetz that he's already banging out minors and stuff? I don't know if I can say it. For
Allegedly.
I am very sorry. He is allegedly.
Definitely.
Allegedly. Trafficking.
Definitely
allegedly doing that. But you know, all these politicians are shameless. You can't. I mean, what could you get on Trump that he wouldn't own up to, and his fucking polls would go
He doesn't
up?
own up to anything.
Yeah, but even China was like, oh, we got you dead
It's
to rights.
China.
You were at the freak off,
Right.
and you had 2 silver dildos, a double-headed dildo, and then China, everybody would be like, you know what? He'd go up in the polls.
Yeah.
Trump would be like, yeah, I did that shit.
And he'd be like,
I
yeah,
like
see,
weird dildos.
I told you the truth. China was hacking. And
Yeah.
here they are.
Boom.
You know what the funniest thing about hacking is that it very rarely, or a lot of times rather, I don't say very rarely, but a lot of times, it's not some super sophisticated person that knows how to hack into a mainframe, hack the server. It's like they send one email to some old geezer.
Yep. Who works at Boeing and shit in like compliance.
Right. And somehow the guy's like, oh, someone randomly emailed me titties. Oh,
Yeah.
I knew Marsha from billing wanted to show me some titties. And then they click the link. And then next thing you know, Delta's flights are grounded for 6 days.
Yeah. Every IT guy in the country is miserable. This is a fact.
Uh-huh.
And this is what we get.
Uh-huh.
Like you get China, it's easy to hack us.
Right.
You got to take care of your IT people, folks.
Uh-huh.
I
Pay
don't know
them
who
more.
that's. Yeah, I don't know who that's a shout out to. IT people, IT guys.
Strippers in the break room so that they don't get honeypotted by some random North Korean hacker. Although I think, and this is conspiracy theory hat, I think the CrowdStrike hack with the
That wasn't a hack. That was a failure.
a bug.
A bug, yeah.
I think that was quietly Bill Gates asserting still how much power he has in this country. Because that was a Microsoft.
It was a Microsoft thing, yeah.
Microsoft patch.
This is also a Microsoft thing, by the way. This Chinese hack.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I think that's just Bill Gates subtly letting people know that if he wanted to fuck up your travel for 4 days, all he had to do was flick some kind of switch and some intermediary party would take the fall.
This sounds like the beginnings of a conspiracy theory.
It is the beginning. It is a conspiracy theory. Bill Gates is quietly just like secretly doing all sorts of shit we don't know about, for sure. You know, Microsoft just invested in a nuclear power plant. Do you know about this?
No.
Look up Constellation Energy. Microsoft just signed like some crazy deal to reopen 3 Mile Island.
Oh, this is a 3 Mile Island thing?
3 Mile Island, because they need clean, affordable power for artificial intelligence.
This?
Yeah.
And for their data centers.
Yeah, for their data centers. This is public information. Like this company, CEG, has been like a steady business for a very long time. Since like, I don't know, I think 8-10 years ago, before they were spun out from another power company. But like up until a month and a half ago, it was, the stock was at like 140, 150. And then this happened, stock doubled in like a month. Like 75% gain in a month. Because Bill Gates, shout out Billy G, secretly asserting himself.
I thought he was laying low after all the Epstein stuff, you know?
I mean, that's why
I feel like he should just keep a low profile. You don't need more money. Just give more malaria vaccines.
It's not for money now. It's for power.
I mean, he's already at the mountaintop of power.
This is just him quietly. Why is our power flickering in and out? This is him quietly asserting himself.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. What's Bill Gates' end game?
I don't know. Some people just want to see the world burn.
Maybe just angry they took Epstein away from him. That was
allegedly, definitely.
That was definitely there was photos.
Right.
That's probably how he, after controlling the world, he was just wanted to, just have fun on the weekends.
Right.
We took that away from him.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. It's crazy that Stephen Hawking was there, man. Yeah. It is fucking crazy. What can't that guy do?
What if it was his handler? What if it was his handler?
I don't like.
It was the person who was like helping him push the wheelchair when the shit went off. Cut the power to his wheelchair, and Stephen Hawking's just like, "What are we doing here?" No, okay.
All your heroes are monsters, people.
All your heroes are monsters. Damn, what a shame. Okay, on that note, monster heroes. Elon Musk going full blow Trump on stage. Like, I can't even use Twitter anymore. X, whatever it is.
I never got into Twitter, thankfully. It had nothing to do with Elon. I just never.
Before Elon got on board, it was like a vile place for sure. But at least there was some way to go through information and like get news a little bit. Now it's just like you open it up and it's like, look at this hot police officer. Isn't that crazy? Or it's like
some right-wing shit.
Yeah. Or is this?
Come here. Take over, Eli. Just take over.
Why?
Hi, everyone.
He spoke?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark
This
MAGA.
This is what I understand about anyone worth $200 billion is, why would you go to Pennsylvania? For what reason?
Cheesesteaks.
For what reason are you going to Pennsylvania, bro? Shout out to Pennsylvania. You have treated me well. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, driving through. You got some nice scenic highways and stuff. But let's be honest. I got $200 billion. I'm not going to Pennsylvania. I might not be in America.
I mean, I never understood the Elon hero worship, really. Actually, I understood it.
I understand.
I understood it in the beginning, because he was in Iron Man 2, and people were like, damn, that's like a real-life Tony Stark.
He is a real life.
No, he's not. He's a fucking. He didn't found any of the companies that he owns. He just like bought his way into it with his fucking
I get
apartheid money.
I get it. Yes, true. Apartheid money. He's the son of a super rich
emerald mines.
Emerald miner.
Who the fuck even uses emeralds?
Right.
Anyway.
Emeralds are great.
They are.
I don't have any, but they look pretty
I don't.
dope. But
Blood emeralds.
blood emeralds. You sift through all that blood, you get a nice shiny green rock.
Yeah, but Leo didn't make a movie about it, so nobody gives a shit.
Right. But I don't know enough about science and technology to decipher whether or not he is a super smart. I mean, he seems like a super smart, at least from a technical perspective, guy in terms of SpaceX and Tesla. And I'm not sure what he did with PayPal, but I read his biography, like the Walter Isaacson,
The glazing one.
yeah, the one from forever ago. But when it comes to building a car company and building a space company, that takes a lot of intelligence.
I guess I always wonder with Elon, like, who cares if he's smart or not? Like, what does that even matter? Because, like, what does that really do for the average person? Like, nothing.
I mean, there are a lot of Teslas on the street.
I mean, there are a lot of Teslas on the street, but that's all both SpaceX and Tesla are like subsidized by the American taxpayer, right? It's like a sports team,
Right.
Like all that shit is subsidized by you, and it wouldn't exist without your tax dollars. Quite frankly,
but he did create those
he
companies.
just finessed the government.
I mean, he didn't even just create. He shook a whole market. Look at how many electric cars are now on the market because of how much market share Tesla came and took.
Which is like what you're explaining is like a good business person, but not one worth like hero worship.
Well, yeah, I don't think he should.
But people hero worship.
I don't think he should have any input on American politics, and that's not just because I disagree with most of his positions. It's because the same people that say "shut up and dribble" to like LeBron, are the same people who want to suck Elon's dick because he created Tesla.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They think he's smart and he's a technocrat and he should be in charge because the smartest people in the world should be in charge.
But
and he
only
plays into that.
Right.
He plays that up, that he's like some kind of genius. But like corporations aren't run by one guy. Like he employs real geniuses. And he himself is just a figurehead. He's like the Japanese emperor.
I wish my cousin could be on the phone because I just was on his Instagram and he's going all off in a positive way about how he's a physics major. He was a physics major and is now a physician, but he was going all off on how crazy it is that robot Mechzilla or whatever.
This?
No,
that's a guy in a suit that they faked.
No, not this stupid shit. Like, I don't want a robot bartender. I want an actual bartender. You can't like convey tone to a robot bartender. But no, the SpaceX thing, that the arm that caught the SpaceX rocket.
Yeah,
that's like a huge technical feat.
Yeah, I have a friend who works at SpaceX. He's smart as shit.
Right.
But Elon gets all the praise, but really here's I'll give credit where credit's due. There are a lot of things SpaceX does that NASA couldn't because NASA's a government-run agency and there's a lot of bureaucracy there.
Right.
So like SpaceX is able to those engineers are able to do more because they don't have to go through Congress to do shit or whatever the fuck.
Right.
And so these engineers that he hires are really impressive, really smart people. So to a physics major, it's that's what's he can realize his potential looking at SpaceX and all these fun physics things. I, as a normal person, just don't give a shit about any of it. I'm like, it's not worth worshiping any person, and also separately, and this is just my own personal opinion, I don't care about space at all.
I think
I just don't get it. I never understood
about space.
I don't give a shit about space. Oh, you get to Mars. Who cares? We have inflation, bro.
Right.
How is that going to solve real people problems?
You're
and every
escaping
physicist is like, oh, but then they're going to bring back some technology. And I'm like, what fucking technology?
Right. That's going to be for you.
Yeah.
Space still costs $50 million. Like if you're a billionaire, you could spend $50 million to go to space, or $20 million, whatever it is.
Sure,
to go to
yeah.
Space. I think that would be sick.
Yeah.
I think.
All right.
I think space as a concept, because I will never see it, is amazing. The possibilities are endless. But we're getting away from the point. Elon, I think the reason people like Elon so much is because he is this super smart guy who has changed the world with EV technology and created some of the most successful businesses ever. But they like him because he is aligned with their viewpoints about trans people, about immigrants, about which is what is, I think, most annoying to me from he's a malevolent billionaire.
It's a cult of personality that we have with people that are successful, you know. Just because like the average person, especially American, you see that success and like you just get all worked up into a frenzy about it.
Right. I could be just like that.
I could just be like just like that. It's a Trump effect too, right? Like a lot of people are like, I could just not have to edit myself and shoot straight and just be, I don't like immigrants and I can finally say that.
Right.
And also become a billionaire, and that's attractive.
Right.
That's an attractive thing, and Elon's just playing into that shit. But really, he's doing this to keep the gravy train from the taxpayer going because, as smart as he is, he couldn't solve that problem. He still needs good old Uncle Sam's money, yours and mine's, to get his stupid fucking rockets in the air.
Right.
And then, he did something cool with Starlink, right? That's cool. Give internet to people from a satellite. A lot of people around the world in like underdeveloped nations can have internet, but then he used it to like fucking block out Ukraine.
Right. He did do that. He did give it to Florida.
Yeah, he gave it to Florida because,
but he also made it such that if you looked up Hurricane Milton on Twitter, it was just like Ron DeSantis saying the government isn't helping us. Meanwhile, they're sending as much aid as they can.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Elon.
Yeah, there you go. Full circle. And fuck you, outer space.
Fuck you, outer space.
I don't give a shit.
I draw the line to fuck you, Elon. Space, you're cool, bro. Space is sick. Yeah, this hero worship really got to end, man. Because anyone that you think is a hero, give them 30 seconds. They will say the N-word. Lieutenant Dan, we're talking about you. Not Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. We're talking about you.
Not Gary Sinise.
No.
Shouts to Gary Sinise.
Gary Sinise,
great character actor.
Yes, amazing. We're talking about Lieutenant Dan, the bootleg version. This clown. What's his real name? It's not even Dan. It's Joseph.
Oh, my God.
Became a cult hero overnight for his defiant stand in the face of Hurricane Milton. This guy became a cult hero, quote unquote, 15 seconds of fame because on TikTok and on the other social media platforms, when Hurricane Milton was happening, he was on a boat in the ocean and the cops were like, "Hey, bro, you got to get out of the ocean." He's like, "No, fuck you, copper. I'm going to stay in this boat. I'm not going to a place where it's safe." And he survived.
I mean, he could have sailed away. He was in the correct vehicle.
He survived Hurricane Milton and now became like a cult hero because he survived and spit in the face of cops and God and made it out unscathed. 20 seconds later, he's on a live stream, and within a minute or two of the live stream, drops the N-bomb. Hard ER. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, we didn't know. We gave this guy too much credit too fast." What did you think about a guy who doesn't listen to people telling him, "Hey man, get off the boat during a hurricane"? You didn't think he had a few N-words in him?
He also looked like a racist.
Yeah, I mean, just sorry to sound racist, but look at this guy. Each one of these photos, he's definitely said the N-word. That one, right? Yeah.
Yep, that's definitely said
He
it.
said that to a black cop right there. That's a black cop N-word. Here, the arresting officer also said it back to him. Look at him. Yeah, see, I knew I was with my people. I just, like, did you say this? You said this, that the kick streamer, what's his name?
Aiden Ross.
Aiden Ross,
Mm-hmm.
who was also not a good guy from
Not
what
really.
I understand.
Yeah, he's like a right wing
lunatic.
Gen Z for the kids.
Andrew Tate lover.
Yeah.
Who filled the vacuum of Andrew Tate when Tate got arrested for trafficking and said, I'll give you, Joseph, $100,000 to get a new boat and get to land safely. And then he did some background research on him for like 10 seconds and found out that this character is a multi-time arrested criminal with a huge-ass rap sheet. What is it? Let's see. Extensive criminal history. Keep going down. Misdemeanor selling, operating a vessel. He punched a police officer in the nose. An officer punched him back.
That's this photo.
We got into a straight up fist fight.
Yeah, dude. Yep. So this is not a good guy. And everyone's like, we got to make him a hero because he's so smart that he wants to sit in a boat in the ocean during the hurricane that is hitting the same ocean.
Is it crazy how this guy just got away with getting into a straight up fisticuffs with a cop?
I mean, he served a year in jail, doesn't it say that?
Yeah, but I mean, if you were a black teenager, you would have been shot immediately.
I mean, yeah, sure. Well, I mean, we're not going to talk about race and politics and race and police brutality on this episode. You know, this
Okay.
is
Sorry. I'm sorry. It's too far.
It's too real, man.
It's too real. It's too real.
Let's talk about Lieutenant Dan and how they gave him the name Lieutenant Dan just because he was on a boat. Listen, number one thing to be called Lieutenant Dan, no legs. You
No
can't
legs.
have legs and be called Lieutenant Dan.
Crazy.
All right? It's bullshit.
What a
It's
waste,
insult.
guys.
An insult to legless people named Lieutenant Dan. Okay? Number two, Lieutenant Dan from the movie Forrest Gump, Apple investor, Vietnam War veteran, Purple Heart recipient, and badass shrimping boat captain. This guy, it's not a shrimping boat.
I mean, you can get shrimp on that boat. Do we know? We have confirmation.
I'm going to go ahead and say 100% there's no way this guy had a shrimping boat. This guy was not out there boating because he was looking for shrimp. He was out there living in this boat, which if that's your lifestyle, cool. But Lieutenant Dan, you are not. Never served in a war, this guy. Except, you know, the fights with the cops. Look at this. Look. Oh, he's missing one leg.
Oh, he is.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'll walk
We
it
got to
back.
take it back, guys.
I'll walk it back. No pun intended.
All right, there we go. All right.
Okay,
All
all right. Maybe Lieutenant Dan makes sense. One-legged. Maybe they should call him like Sergeant Dan. Lieutenant is pretty high on it. If you got both legs missing, you could be Lieutenant Dan. One leg missing, Sergeant Dan.
Wild.
Lieutenant Dan. I hope this guy, as much of a piece of shit as he is, ends up investing in the next Apple.
He's got a lot of NVIDIA stock.
Yeah. And Lieutenant Dan, turns out he put all his money in some Chinese-Taiwanese company that makes chatbots. And now we don't have to talk to nobody no more. Did you see that they're remaking, or they it's not a remake. It's not even a reboot. It's not like a nostalgia. It's a nostalgia play, but it's not a reboot. It's an extension of Forrest Gump, the original. It's called Here.
What? I have not heard of this at all.
Yes, it's coming out right around Thanksgiving. The movie's called Here.
Oh, it's the other Robert Zemeckis movie.
Right. And
Okay.
the story travels through generations, capturing the human experience in purest form. It's, sorry for reading that. It's it picks up where Forrest Gump left off. You know, after he's rich and he finds Jenny and his son.
Yeah.
And it picks up like after their marriage and the time between their marriage and Jenny's passing. And the other night when I saw the trailer for this, I forgot how the movie ended. I didn't remember that they got married at the end of the movie. And I type into Google, did Forrest Gump? And you know what the first thing Google fills in is?
Have sex with Jenny.
No. Type it in. Did Forrest Gump get AIDS?
Well, you know what?
That's the first thing. If you type "did Forrest Gump," it says "get AIDS."
I watched that movie when I was a kid, and I couldn't tell if Haley Joel Osment was actually his son, or if Jenny was just using Forrest Gump to like raise her son because he was the only good spirit in her terrible life that she had.
Either way, I'm fine with it. You know, if that's what she's doing, that's fine. Good. Forrest loves her. And in his capacity to understand love, that's fine. The real question is, did Forrest Gump get AIDS? And if you, I went down this rabbit hole. Follow this rabbit hole with me. Click on that. Forrest Gump fan theories.
Looking at fan
from
theories
11 years ago.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest was at risk from contracting AIDS from Jenny, but that is not what actually happened. You see? People do not believe he got AIDS from Jenny because, I'll summarize this, because the male to female transmission of HIV is a lot more impactful. Well, let me say it the other way. The female to male transmission, if the female has HIV and the male doesn't, it's a lot more unlikely that it passes on, that she would give him HIV and AIDS. So these fans have concluded that Forrest Gump did not get HIV and therefore AIDS from Jenny. And I will also go ahead and contend that if Forrest did get HIV from Jenny, which again, I do not think he did, he had enough Magic Johnson-like money to prevent AIDS from happening.
He did. He
This
did
man
have
was
the money.
an early investor in Apple, dude. He lived so long.
But what's the timeline here, Forrest Gump? Because the kid was like, what, 5-6 years old? So did Jenny have AIDS when?
So it says Jenny didn't get AIDS until after she gave birth to Junior.
Okay.
She had a relapse and had a moment of weakness and hit the needle. I mean, I don't know where they're pulling this from. This is a fan theory.
It's a fan theory.
Reading this thread is also how I found out that there's a book, Forrest Gump book. I didn't know
it's based on a book.
I had no idea. I didn't research past this thread, so maybe there is a Forrest Gump book, but I don't know. But in the book, apparently, Jenny had Hep C. But for the movie, given that it came out in 96?
Yeah, that's
94.
Turned into AIDS.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, it is Forrest Gump is a novel, 1986 novel.
All right.
Winston Groom, author.
Right. So back to the point. Forrest Gump did not get HIV. We can all sleep soundly knowing that Forrest Gump and Gump Jr., who is
Haley Joel Osment,
smart, according to the movie, that's a direct quote, survived and lived a long, healthy life. Oh, here it is. Yeah. There's a trailer right there. Is that Jenny? It's crazy how they de-aged Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Look at this. They de-aged the shit out of him. Director of Back to the Future and Contact. Joy, hope, loss, love.
That looks crazy.
Wow. How did they de-age him?
AI, man. Crazy.
Insane.
what's the point of this fucking movie?
Money, dog. They're trying to get us.
It's just people living their life. Everybody goes through this shit. Everybody's going through this shit right now.
That's the point of the movie. They're trying to go back to simpler times when
They just emotionally manipulate you.
When AIDS was a gay disease. That's what they're trying to go back to, dude.
November 15th.
Remember when your parents got old and they had to sell your family house and all the memories? Who the fuck wants to watch a movie about that?
People, man. I hope there's at least, I hope at some point Forrest encounters some minorities. What is this?
He did. He had.
Oh, this is here again. Oh, that's the movie. Okay. I mean, he had Bubba Gump.
Yeah.
He had Bubba.
He had Bubba. Yeah.
But that's it. I don't see any in this trailer.
Yeah, this trailer is interesting. It's literally just one shot.
Yeah, it's just like a scene from their house. From maybe they had a very low budget. But anyway, the point is,
Forrest is clean.
Forrest is clean, and Lieutenant Dan, the OG version, you will never be usurped by anyone that has.
I think
more than one leg.
It'd be too brutal if Forrest Gump also had AIDS, because he'd be redacted and he has AIDS.
Right. Yeah.
That's too much.
You can't have both.
You can't have both.
That's Oscar bait.
Yeah.
That's the next Oscar bait movie. Redacted and HIV.
And have HIV. Yeah. Why do that to someone? Who wants to watch that?
Yeah.
I guess, like, who wants to watch this? This is like, I don't know.
People are gonna watch it. It's gonna flop, I think. But,
definitely.
But people will watch it.
This is a movie for someone who has like a really charmed life to feel what like normal people feel. You know,
I can't wait to see the Indian remake of this
with Amir Khan de-aged.
Yeah, extension.
Yeah.
Of the original Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump was remade in India. Did you know that? I didn't know that until we had this conversation.
Yeah, I did not know that until
the pre-show.
Yeah, like 25 minutes ago, where my mind was blown.
And I'm guessing, it's a shot-for-shot remake. What's it called?
Lal Singh Chadda.
Lal Singh Chadda.
That's his name.
That's his name in the movie.
Red Singh underwear?
That's not what Chadda means, is it?
No.
I mean, Chadda is like, that's a last name, but Chaddi is translation to underwear.
Yeah. Red Singh underwear. We've come full circle to the Punjabis that we started with. Look at this. My man is look at this Sikh. Shout out. How do they make it 2 and 4? There's a musical. They sing in this?
Oh, is there songs in this?
I'm not sure. I didn't watch it. It has 68% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it flopped like bad. Amir Khan came out and has an interview where he's saying like, my acting was bad. Like, I couldn't save the movie. Like, the only reason Forrest Gump worked was because Tom Hanks was so exceptionally good.
Tom Hanks won an Oscar for Forrest
Gump. Yeah, because he threaded the needle of like the redacting. You know, you don't go full
and looking
mid-redact
and looking surprised. Like perfectly every time he showed. He looked like he was supposed to be there every time he was where he was.
Yeah,
he had no idea. Whereas I imagine in this Indian version, just looking at the poster, look at the poster, look at his face on the left.
So fucked up.
Look at him.
Oh man.
Oh, come on, Amir. You could do better than that.
Oh man.
Yeah, audience rating 2.5.
Damn, though, when the audience pans on it, that's when you know it's bad.
I was thinking about what a modern Forrest Gump would be if they had like from the last
Elon, full circle. Boom. We're coming right. Elon's life.
Elon's just Forrest Gumping his way.
Just like, oh, you have a car company? Can I be on your board?
What if we use batteries? Can we go to space and bring the rockets back?
Oh my God! Can you have a house on Mars?
What if I could send money through the internet? Everybody's like, all right, Elon.
Now we're like, he's a genius. Oh, wow.
And then he shows up at a random political rally.
Yeah. Jumping up and down.
And then somebody shot that man. All right, that's enough. Shout out to Forrest Gump. Shout out to Lieutenant Dan. The original version, not this N-word dropping version. Although I'm sure the original version in the movie, like that character probably said the N-word once or twice. But he fought in Vietnam. He was probably allowed to do that.
I think he didn't have the capacity for racism.
The hate, yeah.
The hatred in his heart and he was never ignorance, right? He was never blaming other people for his own issues. Yeah, which is what racism really is.
Yeah, it's just fear and lack of communication
and stupidity.
Coming back to Elon real quick. before we switch over to our Patreon conversation. You see this Robo-Taxi and what's a Robo-Van?
Robo-Taxi, Robo-Van, and Optimus
Robot. First of all, Robo-Taxi, Robo-Van, bro, just take the train, man. If Elon put all the money he did into these stupid ass driverless vehicles and just improved, not even made the monorail that he was trying to make from LA to San Francisco or whatever the fuck.
The Hyperloop.
But just fixed the trains in America. Like, just fix Amtrak.
Mm-hmm.
You could be my president if you fixed Amtrak. Okay, maybe not. You could be my mayor if you fixed the New York City subway. You don't think so? The trains suck, dude. It took you 7 years to get here.
Yeah, I mean, the trains are bad, but like, I just don't want business people anywhere near politics.
Look, I think my take on people like Elon or whoever running, I'm not saying politics, I'm saying running infrastructure, is assuming that they're doing it for the benefit of the people.
Yeah, they don't know how to...
Sacrificing their own personal money. Elon has $200 billion, okay? If he just said, instead of trying to get $210 billion, I spent this money and had $150 billion, but New York City ran like Singapore because I just want to know that I can make a city run smoothly.
I mean, he had the chance to get from LA to San Francisco on a one rail thing, and he couldn't do that.
But I mean, that was an engineering challenge versus.
I mean, it's an engineering challenge here. The subways and shit.
Improving.
Infrastructure going down.
To build a hole underneath LA to go straight to San Francisco, that's even if you were, that's some Forrest Gump shit.
Wasn't it above ground?
I don't know what it was.
I think it was above ground.
He was digging. It was using.
No, that's Boring Company. That's different.
What was Boring Company?
They were just going to make tunnels to alleviate LA traffic. Mm-hmm. The Hyperloop was an overground monorail, like The Simpsons.
Got it.
That went to San Francisco.
Okay, but yeah, that also required creating, and that required just a ton of red tape to be removed, right? Because you got to go through so many different municipalities, and to get state approval, you have to get municipal approval to build the infrastructure. I'm just saying, if Elon decided, instead of trying to improve the bus, which I don't think we'll ever get rid of. We're not going to get rid of drivers in our lifetime. We'll maybe replace some, but I don't think we'll ever get rid of them.
I don't think we should. Driving's an important job, man.
Exactly. It requires a lot of skill.
Yeah.
But if you just spent the money, instead of trying to make, immigrants' jobs disappear by creating a robo-taxi, instead put that money into the Q train, what a huge improvement for society.
See, that's the thing. I don't think these guys are, specifically Elon, but anybody like him, like a Bezos or any of these rich guys, they're not really capable of building systems that do that. Mm-hmm. They're only capable of building systems that like extract value from labor. Uh-huh. And that's how they're so rich. So like if you gave them a problem, like, hey, fix the New York City subway, they don't really, because they don't wield the same influence like they do with their companies, right? Where they can just fire people, rule through fear, because there's bureaucracy challenges, policy issues, like you said. There's all this shit. Like New York City subways, they hired that guy from London who fixed the London
Danish
Underground.
Guy.
Yeah.
I think his name, but I forget his name, but it was a Danish.
I forget his name, but he's like an expert in that. And there's just, it's so much crumbling infrastructure in our old ass city,
right,
that it's such a hard problem to solve that you can't really just throw money at it.
But it is a problem you can throw money at, and they had plans to implement all the changes, but then Governor Hochul, whatever her name is, she pulled the congestion pricing plan, which is where they're going to fund.
Yeah, because you got to build that Bills stadium, bro. Where are the Bills going to play?
Exactly.
Shout out Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Josh Allen, what up? Doing great. Wish you the best. You're going to beat the Jets on Monday.
Yeah, we got to have our boys playing on the best fields.
Yeah.
All right? It's preposterous.
But point being, Fuck a robo-taxi. Fuck a robo-van.
I mean, it's just an Indian guy in India driving it anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the immigrant here will get screwed over. But the Indian guy in India is going to be crushing it.
Oh, it's like you were saying what?
The Amazon Go, where like Amazon had all these stores. There's still a couple in the city, I think, where you just walk in, you go through a turnstile, you use the app, you walk out, you just take your shit and walk out. SNL did a sketch on it too.
Right.
And they were like, oh, it's technology. Like they just know when you're taking this like bag of potatoes out. But it was really like people in India just watching you on surveillance cameras.
Oh, really?
And then checking out on your behalf. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yep.
Shout out Bezos for trying to scam.
Bezos is
so the robo-taxis aren't really, it's just a 12-year-old playing GTA, but it's
in India, just like fucking driving you around.
Yeah, he stops to get out and punch a hooker.
Just getting on just getting on the FDR when you tell him not to. Like, what the fuck, man?
Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down, Dharmesh.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, okay. Elon, listen. If you're listening, fix the trains, man. Yeah, this is selfish. I'm in New York. We're in New York. So fix the New York trains. Fix all the trains. Amtrak infrastructure is crumbling. They have a monopoly. Go buy them and fix that shit. You want to be a hero? Do some hero shit. Stop trying to suck Donnie's dick on stage. We know what you're doing, brother. Otherwise, go back to Africa. Go back.
I don't think they want him there.
No one wants Elon. Okay. Speaking of hero worship, I think it's time we switch over to our Patreon episode. On Patreon, we'll be talking about, I'm a longtime fan of this guy's. Can't be any longer. Mr. Kanye West. His ties to Diddy, Bieber, and all the other stuff that we can't talk about on the algorithm here. Join us on Patreon. If you can't, thank you for listening. I'm Nimesh. That's Asif. This has been Gucci Turban. Kiss your local Sikh. Yeah, that's what we're ending on. All right. Well, let's do this Patreon for what, 15?